Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and this is this week's comic book haul. It's a little bit late, unfortunately, with Labor Day weekend. I get my books shipped to me. Unfortunately, since I moved to my current location, I haven't really found a store that I really enjoy going to and have a subscription or pull service with, so I get my comics shipped. So that's why they're a little bit late, and especially when there's a holiday weekend like Labor Day. So anyway, what can you do? First book up is Providence by Alan Moore. This is number 4, and I actually took this off my pull list. It just ended up, I must have done it too late. But, I alluded to this last month when I pulled in issue 3. Alan Moore has just been so odd. His stories have been so odd. Very obsessed with the occult, and I don't know, just not very much happened in this. There's just not a, it tried to build tension maybe, but it just didn't really succeed. I'm not really sure where it was going. I don't know. It was just another kind of disappointing story from Alan Moore recently, and kind of sad because he was definitely one of the greatest writers back in the 80s and 90s. So anyway, for what it's worth, there it is. Next book I also removed from my pull list. This is Secret Wars tie-in. It's Squadron Sinister number 3. And this is by Guggenheim, who I actually like, but I don't know, I just don't like what they've done with the Squadron Supreme. For those of you not familiar with that team, basically it's Marvel's kind of tongue-in-cheek version of the Justice League. So traditionally they've kind of done weird things with this team. They've turned them into bad guys or made them anti-heroes or what have you, but they're basically the Justice League. So J. Michael Straczynski wrote the team a number of years ago, and they called it Supreme Power, and that was really my favorite version of the team. He did a really good job with that. This has multiple, I guess, timeline versions of the Squadron Supreme in it, and they immediately kill off the one I liked. That was the J. Michael Straczynski one for, I guess, a more classic version of the team. I don't know. So it just, again, didn't feel like it was doing much for me. It was sort of a interesting premise, but it was maybe not enough action and just a lot of kind of talking about who's going to betray who and the team and that sort of stuff. I don't know. So, it didn't do a whole lot for me. Next book is Batman Detective Comics number 44. And I don't know, I continue to pick this up. I'm not really thrilled with the direction of Batman right now. He is my favorite character. But, having basically it's not Bruce Wayne who's Batman. Spoilers if you haven't been reading it. It's Jim Gordon. I've been reading the main title Batman. Scott Snyder is, I think, doing the best he can with that premise. And I don't know, as far as detective goes, it's just kind of there. I mean, I like Batman. I like the mystery crime stories. So I'll continue to pick this up. But right now it's kind of a slow time. If you're not really a big Batman fan, I'd probably say skip this one. All right, next one's a Valiant book. This is Imperium. This is number 8, and this is kind of the current Harbinger storyline, if you're familiar with Harbinger. Right now it's called Imperium, but by the same creative team that did Harbinger. And, I really like Valiant. They're knocking it out of the park. They're doing a lot of good things. I continue to pick up their books. Looking forward to see what they do with their entertainment and movie deals going forward in the future. Because they got a lot of interesting characters, and I think once they kind of hit the mainstream, these books could be more sought after. And having said that, we got another Valiant book. It's Manowar Exodus, number 40. It's Manowar number 40. I think this is the second part of the storyline, if I'm remembering that correctly. But this has kind of been their flagship book. Exo's been great. Robert Venditti has done a great job writing it. And, definitely recommend this one. We'll go back to Marvel, and we got The Silver Surfer, and this is number 14. And with Secret Wars, I believe this is coming to an end. I don't know if this is the last issue or getting close to the last issue, but I really like this. Dan Slott's doing some different stuff with The Silver Surfer. I mean, my favorite version of Silver Surfer is probably the kind of your 90s version, the Infinity Gauntlet time period. I just thought he came across as a really strong, powerful hero during that time. The recent incarnations of the Surfer have been a little more meta, and this is the same. I mean, this is kind of a meta take on him, but I do like what Dan Slott does with it, and I do like Mike Aldred's art. I think's amazing and just very unique and different. And with his art, you almost have to do something kind of meta. He's not your typical like superhero artist, so I like it. I don't know, it's different, but I definitely like it. At some point, maybe after Secret Wars, I'd like to see Silver Surfer kind of get rebooted as more of the kind of the strong leader hero type that he used to be, but it's still a very good book, good character. Next we have Grant Morrison, 18 Days. This is number 3. Grant Morrison's hit or miss. Sometimes he does great stuff. Sometimes he does really odd stuff. So far, this has been good. It's very unique, and it's just kind of a I don't know what to compare it to. Almost maybe like Conan the Barbarian, sort of like war story. I don't know, but it's been good so far. And it doesn't seem like he's overthinking anything. This is just kind of well, as much as Grant Morrison can be, just kind of an action story without too much thinking going into it. But he's put together some solid characters, and I've really enjoyed this. So now on to the top 3 picks of the week, and this is my third hottest pick, I guess, is Lazarus, and this is number 19, which, wow, seems crazy to me that it's that high, but Greg Rucka writes this. He's probably the best writer in the industry for writing good, well fleshed out female characters, and that's what this is. If you haven't been reading this, definitely try to pick it up. I'm sure there's some trades for some of the older issues, but he has done an amazing job on this series. Very excited to see his work on some of the Star Wars books coming up. Marvel's put some great writers on Star Wars, and he's going to be one of them. But yeah, fantastic book. If you haven't been reading Lazarus, check it out. My second big pick of the week here is Jupiter's Circle. And to kind of give you an idea of the storyline and what this is, Jupiter's Legacy was a miniseries Mark Millar wrote, and it concluded. And he's got a sequel coming out very soon. But in between, he kind of did backstory on some of the characters. So even though this is number 6, really these were 3 2-part stories, and this is the last part of the third 2-part story, if you will, just focusing on different characters. This has been excellent, so don't feel like this is kind of a throwaway in between or prequel story that isn't important. These are really good stories, and I like the 2-part short story format. You're so used to, I guess, seeing especially Millar, he usually does 6-part miniseries all the time. It's kind of cool to get a story in 2 parts and to get 3 different stories in 2 parts. So it was actually really well done. Really enjoyed this. If you haven't read any of these, definitely check them out. Sometimes Millar gets a rap that he's just writing books for movies, and I don't know, maybe he is, but he does a really good job. This is fantastic. And number 1, biggest pick of the week, is We Stand on Guard, and this is by Brian K. Vaughan. This is number 3. Brian K. Vaughan, just amazing. Of course, he wrote Why the Last Man. He writes Saga. He's got another story called Paper Girls coming out in October. So he does a lot of great stuff. This has been great. I mean, I like everything he does. He just is an incredible writer. He's had incredible runs on some of the X-Men books, too, in Marvel. If you haven't seen those, check those out. But the premise here is basically this is in a not-too-distant future where the United States has occupied Canada, and this is about a group of freedom fighters in Canada that are trying to resist the U.S. occupation. Really interesting stuff. Fantastic writer, Brian K. Vaughan. So really love this book, and seems to, anything with his name attached to it, I think is going to get some attention. Seems to garner some popularity. So, having said that, that's the haul for the week, and I should be back, really, I guess, in a few days with the next week's haul. So, as always, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. Have a good day.